everybody, and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Today we're going to be doing an Eonon head unit on this 2004 GMC Sierra. Old Red is a daily driver for a coworker of mine, and it is time for a little upgrade on the interior. So today we're going to be unboxing and installing this head unit. These are super simple. We've done a bunch of these in the past, and as always, we'll link everything we use today down in the description below. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like if you enjoy this type of content. Also make sure to check us out on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports. So let's go get this unboxed, show off what we're getting today, and then we'll be going back over to the truck and doing the install.
All right, here is the head unit, and first things first, I've always liked Eonon's packaging. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's pretty stout, which is good because the mail tried to kill it, but it survived, and nothing is wrong with it. So opening it up here, we'll pull out this section in the back here. So this would be your wire harness. Nothing super crazy here. All these white plugs go to the back of the head unit, and as always with Eonon, there is no wrong way to plug these in. There's not like all the same sizes. They're all completely different, and you cannot plug these in wrong. So we'll plug all these in. There's your USB, there's your external mic, here's the GPS system. This is the one that goes from your head unit to the vehicle itself. And then here's some more USBs. And then these three here are the ones that are gonna have your backup camera, amp in, your audio out. So basically anything you can think of, most anything people put into a stereo system, this is compatible with all that. You also have a reset key, some screws here, a fuse, and so it's nice that they give you a little bit of extra stuff. Back over to the head unit itself, we'll pull this out of here. Really nice big screen. It's not super deep, not overly complicated. Again, you can see all the plugs there on the back. You can't mix any of these up. They only fit in one location. You do have a physical button here, which is nice. Actually, a couple physical buttons here. The home, the scroll, a select button, which is really nice. You also have the reset, USB-C, and a standard USB, which is really cool because a lot of the newer head units is just a screen. So this does still have some older style features, which sometimes I prefer. And then you have an auxiliary in. So that's just kind of nice because this is more like, you know, like early 2000s stuff, where if you want to get into your head unit, you don't have to run around back and fish all these through. You can just, as long as the head unit's hooked up, you can get your audio to it there. So other than that, pretty simple stuff, nothing super crazy. So now we're gonna go put it into the vehicle.
All right, before we go any further, I just want to show off this kit here that you're gonna need to purchase. This allows you to mount the Eonon system to your GMC or Chevy. This is basically just a surround, and then these will go down the sides here. I'm not sure exactly which way they end up going, but they'll go down each side of the head unit. There is an instruction manual for that, as you can see here. It goes over a bunch of different applications here. Looks like even all the way to a Suzuki. And then you got some of your mounting hardware, some more clips and things like that. Antenna wire, more connectors here, and then this harness here. Okay, this harness plugs into the vehicle, and then you can use this to connect your Eonon system. Now, we did have to purchase one other thing. This system here. This is a Scoosh, whatever you want to call that. I believe this is actually like a Walmart brand. I think they sell this at Walmart. But we just popped this on Amazon, and I'll have the links to everything. This system right here allows you to continue to use your steering wheel controls. Inside this box here, you'll have the actual unit itself, and then here is another one of those same harnesses, except for in order to use this box, you have to use this because this plugs into it, which means it will not be using this connector. We'll be using this one. Now this head unit came with kind of like a universal plug here on this side. It's not actually for the GMC, so we're actually gonna have to connect these two. As of right now, we're just gonna be doing color to color. I'll be basically just cutting this plug off. I'm gonna cut the plug off just a little bit further down, and then that allows us options in the future if we need to, for whatever reason, reuse this or whatever. As of right now, just do color to color between those two, and then I'll come back when I'm all done and tell you what goes on with the rest of these. Before we start, here is the backup camera. Now you didn't see that in the unboxing because we already have it installed on the truck. The best way to do this is obviously mount up the camera and put the excess wire
on the cab side of the vehicle. So we have the camera here and we ran the wire in. We just followed a wire harness underneath the truck in the direction we knew we needed to go. So after running it again alongside another wire harness, and that way we know it's not going to get caught up on anything or get too hot next to the exhaust. And then we've just brought it into the cab of the truck, went all the way underneath here and brought it up, and now it is in here. All right, now that we've got a little light here in the cab, we're going to be removing the old head unit. Pretty easy to do. We're going to put the truck into first gear. That brings this all the way down. What that does is it allows this bezel to come out, and literally all we're going to be doing is pulling around the edge here, and with the steering wheel lowered all the way down, we can remove this piece. Pretty simple to do. Careful with that because they do like to break. And then from here, we can put the truck back into park, take the key out, and then we'll be removing the head unit. These are 7mm. There's 2 on this side, 1 on the other side. And you can see the head unit just slides straight out there. And then now we're just gonna be unplugging. All right, and I just wanna go over how to remove these clips. It's not anything super crazy, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna squeeze the top and the bottom like this, and then we're gonna get a screwdriver or a pry tool down in there and just twist it. All right, as you can see here, we've got everything all soldered and put together. Everything is 1-to-1, so we have the speaker wires are all color matched. The only really like weird goofy one was this ground here. You can see it comes off of the controller box. For the steering wheel controller, ties into the pigtail, comes into the back of the head unit, and then there's also another harness over here that needed ground. So now all those are tied together. The other wires that we have here, pretty standard stuff. We've got yellow to yellow, orange to orange, red to red, blue with a white stripe to blue, for whatever reason. And then over here we have the steering wheel control 2 to key 2 and steering wheel control 1 to key 1. The other thing that I did do was add a plug to the reverse trigger. And just to go over that here real quick, this is the reverse trigger wire. It is brown, and then the camera wire here, which is red, and this is coming off of that backup camera harness. And I definitely wanted to make sure that you could disconnect it so that wasn't like keeping the head unit in. So here's a single connector plug, and I just add that so that if you want to, you can disconnect that. It's not just like a permanent connection. 2 screws to pull out the tail light, and then once you identify the backup light, which I have running, and you just tie in positive and negative from the backup camera harness. Make sure you tie that down to the other harnesses to make sure they're not just loosely sitting in there. Now that we've got all that put back together, properly secured, you just pop the taillight back together and you should be good to go. Set up for the trim bezel, you need to remove all of these tabs. You keep these front 2 and this one here, but all the other ones need to go. And that's for both sides. These are spacers, and I don't think we're going to end up using those. This side, same thing, you keep those front 2 tabs, and then this front one here, and all the other ones have got to go. Going over here to the bezel itself, we'll remove all 4 corners. You don't need any of these, and you also don't need these larger ears on the side. So basically this would be just the bezel, and you just slot those into those holes there, and click into place, and that's how we'll hold the head unit in there. So here it is after all those tabs have been removed, and it is now clicked back together, and pretty simple stuff, and now it should fit right into where it goes. And so now we're going to slide the head unit in there and see how well it fits. One downside, it fit right, but the volume knob, as you can see here, touches the edge of the bezel. So I just took a little bit of plastic off the edge. You just barely see my marks there where I needed to remove some material. Not a big deal. Here it is after that material's been removed. I removed just enough that it didn't make a mess, but enough that you could still spin that knob using both fingers. Then here is the head unit with the screws in the side, and now it is bolted together and ready to be put in.
I want to show off where we're going to be putting the microphone. This is the external mic for using like your Bluetooth when you're on phone calls and stuff like that. I'll run the wire through here into the headliner and across the top. Just kind of tuck it up back behind the headliner there, around the A-pillar, down the A-pillar, over here to the dash. And once you get it into the dash, it's a lot easier to get it over to the head unit. You can hide it. And here it is all finished. I think it looks really good, very sleek. You wouldn't even know that it wasn't supposed to be there from the factory. All right, here is the system completely installed and it looks fantastic. Looks like it's supposed to be there. I have no complaints with the way it fit. And that dash kit that we bought, no problem at all. Snipped a couple pieces off like we were showing earlier, snapped it in, boom, done. I didn't have to play with the spacing up here at all. There's a little gap right there, but honestly, I think the original head unit had a gap right there as well. Other than that, it fits amazing. And if that really bothered you, you could space it forward, but I'm just kind of done putting this together. So the little cutout, the little notch that we did looks really good on there. I have no complaints about the way that looks, and it makes it so that you can touch the wheel 360 degrees, which is really nice. I want to go over a few things. This does have the steering wheel controls, and this head unit originally did not have communication with the steering wheel. So a lot of the BMWs that we have, you just plug in the head unit, boom, it's already connected to everything, steering wheel controls are ready to go. And this older GM, we're gonna have to set that up. So the way you do that is you go into your settings, and I'm sorry about the glare, it's always very difficult to record screens with the camera. So let's see if I can't get this so that we can see what we're doing here. Is go into your settings here. We're going to go into assembly, and right here is your steering wheel learning. And what we'll do is you press begin learn, and then it says right here, select the key for learning. So here's volume up, and now it says, please press the key on the steering wheel. So I'm going to press volume up, and you saw it change. Now I'm going to go volume down. Please press the key on the steering wheel, click that, and you see it change again. And so you just go through all of those, and then once you're all done, you'd press end learn. And then we'll go back here, and there you go, playing with the volume there. So yeah, that works out really well. As always, when we hooked up the phone, it jumped right into Apple CarPlay, just like it's supposed to. Showed the maps. GPS is working really well. We did put the microphone there, and I think it looks really factory. I think that's the original one or something. I'm not sure what exactly that little black box is, but it kind of looked like an original microphone or something. Doing this system yourself saves you about half of what it would be to take it to somewhere. I think if you were to go to most audio shops and was like, hey, I just want a touchscreen head unit that does Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, they're gonna charge you about $500 to $700. And we're, even with like the steering wheel controls and some of the other things, we're basically half that. I could not be happier with this. Thanks so much, Eonon. Look how fast that is. I mean, just really good stuff, very quick responding stuff. And I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Again, everything linked down in the description below. Comments or questions, leave them down in the description below, and we will see everybody in the next video.
Bam!